Hello students, welcome to IFIS. So as we were discussing the questions related to UGC NET English paper, आज हम देखने वाले हैं हमारे रिमेनिंग क्वेश्चंस. सो अब तक हमने कुछ क्वेश्चंस ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर लिए हैं. नाउ वी विल बी लुकिंग एट द अदर क्वेश्चंस व्हिच आर रिमेनिंग वंस. ओके, सो लेट्स सी कि फ्रॉम व्हिच टॉपिक्स ऑल दीज क्वेश्चंस हैव कम एंड what are their answers, how that particular answer came, and we will focus more on the topics. Okay, so I'll be discussing ki from which topic this particular question is being asked, and then also I'll be discussing the answers of the questions, how that answer is correct. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's start. So I hope ki the session that we had last time, there you might have at least studied or at least known few of the things from the session, that what topics, which all topics are important, and also from the British literature there were few topics that you thought or you were not able to give the answers for. So उन सारे सवालों के I hope आप लोगों ने रिवीजन कर लिया होगा and वो सारे टॉपिक्स अब आपके परफेक्ट हो चुके होंगे. ओके, सो फॉर द अदर टॉपिक्स टू नो कि और कौन कौन से टॉपिक्स पे क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं एंड उनके आंसर्स क्या होने चाहिए, ये सबका डिस्कशन अब हम करने वाले हैं. सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड. Look at the first question. So the first question is the match the following type. So which in the first type or in the first list we have 4 authors. In the second list we have 4 books or the text written by them. Okay, so let's understand each and every author's work. Please excuse me. So see here, first is match the list. So first one is Michel de Certeau. So Michel de Certeau, he is French philosopher. And so he wrote the book or the work named as The Practice of Everyday Life. We have understood and studied about it in our last one of the sessions too. This way I told you about Michel de Certeau. Next is John Fiske. So John Fiske is American philosopher. So all these are basically the philosophers okay, and the book or the text that he wrote is Understanding Popular Culture. Next is so these names are quite difficult to pronounce. It's okay even if you are unable to pronounce it properly because they are French names. Okay, most of them are French or maybe Spanish or from other countries, so which is not possible for us to pronounce. Okay, so this is Pierre Bourdieu. So he was also French, but he wrote the text Distinction. And then Janice Radway. Janice Radway was literary critique. And he wrote, so this is 4th, okay, 4th, the book Reading the Romance. So these are the famous texts written by these famous authors. So now which option gives us all the answers? Option number C or option number 3 basically. Okay, next question now. So who among the following presented the concept of multi-accentuality of the sign, saying that signs possess an inner dialectical quality and evaluate accent? Okay, so here we are talking about accent. And which accent? Multiple accents. Okay, and who said about this, and what was actually said says that science, whatever the science that we follow, an inner dialectical quality, and evaluate accent. It's evaluate the accent, that which accent is this, or how this accent is being spoken. Okay, so who was that person? It was Valentin Voloshinov. Okay, Valentin Voloshinov was the person. I guess he was Russian. You can just check it out and find it out. As per my knowledge, I guess he was Russian. Okay, you can find it out. Next is which two of the following inspired the rise of the periodical essay? So which two inspired the rise of periodical essay? So there was a periodical essays were into quite form. So who were the two people who actually supported this kind of work? Okay, so first one is Robert Button, then Francois Laplace, then Francis Bacon, या फिर Michel de Montaigne. Who were the two people? They were Francis Bacon and Michel de Montaigne. Okay, so these are the two people who inspired or who gave rise to the periodical essays. Earlier, periodical essays were not written. Means which is the correct answer? Now see here, I was actually forgetting to give you the correct answer. What I thought that yes, we have already marked the answer, but you don't have to do this. Mark the answer from this section. Okay, let's look at the next question. What is our next question? Arrange the following in the chronological order of publication. So first one is the Chrome Yellow, second one is Sons and Lovers, third one is Mrs. Dalloway, third one is a portrait of the artist as a young man. Okay, so your songs Sons and Lovers, which is this Sons and Lovers. So this one, it was written the first. It was published the first. Okay. Second one was a portrait of the artist as a young man. Then Chrome Yellow, and then Mrs. Dalloway. So this is the chronological order, or this is the sequence in which these books were published. So the first published book was Sons and Lovers. Okay, this was the work which was first published from all the four. Okay, so remember this. So which is the correct answer? Option 4 will be the correct answer. Now students, you also, now here you have understood because I told you about the publications. Now what is your homework for today? What you have to do is that you have to find out on your own the history, the background of all these works. Okay, now what you have understood, that these all are the 4 works. That's it. Now you don't know when it was published, you don't know who was the writer, you don't know what is there in for let's say Chrome Yellow, what is there in the Chrome Yellow, you exactly don't know about it, right? So what you have to do for your homework is that you have to find it on your own, at least find for these 4. Okay, so that you will remember it for a longer period of time. If I will tell you right away, I don't even have that much of time. That's the first thing. And second thing, that it won't be remembered for you for a longer period of time. You will understand it now and then you will forget it after 2-3 days. So which is of no use, right? So then you find it out on your own and you tell it to me that ma'am, this is the background, this is the history of this particular work. Okay, then I'm going to definitely appreciate you. So let's see the next question. So the next question says, which one of the following statements is true about Aristotle's Poetics? So Aristotle's Poetics is a very famous work of Aristotle, and it is spoken all about the poems, the poets, and everything about it. Okay, and he also talks about how the poetry has to be done and related. So mimesis, he talks about mimesis. So what is mimesis? It is the imitation or copy of somebody. Okay, so he also talks about that. So which is the statement which is true from the perspective of Aristotle's Poetics? Okay, what are the statements? Let's see. He asserted the value of poetry by integrating rhetoric and imitation. He asserted the value of poetry by focusing on both rhetoric and imitation. Third, he asserted the value of poetry by giving preference to rhetoric over imitation. And fourth, he asserted the value of poetry by focusing on imitation rather than rhetoric. Okay, so the correct answer about Aristotle's Poetics is this. So he basically asserted the value of poetry by focusing on imitation, okay, rather than the rhetoric. So he says in his this work, in this essay of Poetics, that the mimesis is important, or how the mimesis is being done. So he also talks about different mimetic elements, this imitation. Okay, so imitation of this, imitation of that, everything is focused in his work. Okay, so it is mimetic. Second, it is serious. And third, he says that it tells a full story of an appropriate length. Okay, so this all these things are being discussed in this Poetic of Aristotle. Okay, so it focuses on the imitation, not the rhetoric. Now let's look at the next question. Which two of the following oppositions are best evoked by Hamlet's utterance, to be or not to be? So this is a very famous quote written by Shakespeare in his novel or in his play Hamlet. Okay, so when we talk about Hamlet, the very famous quote written by Shakespeare is to be or not to be. Okay, so in this he says between life and death. So this is the utterance between life and death, between action and emotion, between affirmation and confirmation, or between doing and abstaining from doing. So what are the two things? It's the, yes, obviously life and death, because when he says this, he is on the stage and he is talking to the people. He is actually questioning to be or not to be, means to live or to die. Okay, so this is the question that first he raises. And the second thing that he is trying to tell us is about doing and abstaining from doing. Okay, to do or not to do. Okay, to do something or to run away from something is the second motive of this sentence or of this statement, that to be or not to be. Okay, so the correct answer is A and D. So this is our correct answer. Got it? Now let's look at the next question. Who among the following are the two great masters of the French language that T.S. Eliot contrasts with Dryden and Milton in Metaphysical Poets? So here we are talking about metaphysical poetry, in which we are questioning about the T.S. Eliot's contrasts with Dryden and Milton's work. So who are the great masters of French language? Okay, now here we are talking about French. So first you should know who are these French people. Okay, so who are these French people? The first answer is B, Jane Racine, and the second is Charles. So Francis Villon is also French, but he is not he is not considered in these two great masters. Okay, so who are these two great masters? Jean Racine and Charles Baudelaire. So answer 3 is the correct answer. Okay, so basically the whole English literature is based on the writers and their works. Okay, so everything whatever you study in English literature is the base of it is the poets, the writers, the authors, and the works written by them. Okay, so whenever you are whenever you are practicing all these questions, you just have to remember these things, that what you have to focus on the poets, writers, from which age they belong to, and what they are famous for, then what are the important works written by them. Okay, so in my course I always give the detailed explanation of each and every writer, about each and every work written by them, which is important from the UGC net perspective. So if you join my course, you will get everything in hand. Okay, and your preparation will be boosted up. So think about it and enroll as soon as possible. So let's see the next question now. So who among the following feminist theorists posits a separate realm of female experience captured in a style of writing different from men's? Okay, so here Ellen Showalter, then Luz Irigaray, or Kate Millett, or Simone de Beauvoir, or Helen Sixos. Who are them? B, that is Luz Irigaray and Helen Sixos. Okay, so these two are the people who are the feminist theorists. Okay, and posit a separate realm of female experience captured in a style of writing different from men's. So their writing was very much different from the men's writing. Okay, so these two, Luz Irigaray and Helen Sixos. So what is different in their work? That you have to find it out. Now let's look at the next question. Which two texts among the following are linked to literary feminism? Which two texts are linked to literary feminism? मतलब कौन से ऐसे इनमें से वर्क में लिटरेरी क्रिटिसिज्म के बारे में बात हुई है? Not criticism, feminism, sorry, literary feminism के बारे में बात हुई है. Now what is feminism? The empowerment of women is being talked in the feminism. The right for the women's, or whatever the women deserve, is everything written in the feminism texts. So now which of these two texts are based on the literary feminism? The first one is the Yellow Wallpaper, and the second one is A Room of One's Own. The Yellow Wallpaper. Now who can tell me who has written the book The Yellow Wallpaper? It is basically written by Charlotte Gilman. Okay, so Charlotte Gilman wrote this literary work called as The Yellow Wallpaper, A Room of One's Own. Now who can tell me who has written A Room for One's Own? It is actually not a novel, not a book. It is a research paper basically. Okay, and it is written of the struggle of women writing portrait. So what is written in this? Struggle of women portrayed in this book. Okay, so this is a very famous book, the famous literary work, feminism work written, or the research paper written by which tells you by the Russian writer. Okay, so remember this as well, it is written by Russian writer. What's the name of that Russian writer? Virginia Woolf. Okay, so these are the two important literary feminism works, feminist works. Now let's look at the next question. What is the subject of Ivan's controversial essay in Brothers Karamazov? So it is the transubstantiation, the evils of clergy, the Eucharist, or the ecclesiastical codes. What is the answer? It's the ecclesiastical codes. So when you will understand that play properly, the work properly, then you will get the answer for the question. Okay. Next, who makes the following speech in Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot? Astrid of a grave and a difficult birth. Down in the hole, lingeringly, the grave digger puts on the forceps. Who has written to, who is the speech maker of this? So this is the speech, and who wrote the speech in Samuel Beckett's The Waiting of Godot. So you have to read this work by Samuel Beckett, that is the Waiting for Godot. Okay, so who wrote this? Vladimir wrote this particular work, a speech basically in Samuel Beckett's work. Which two poems in the following list are the examples of dramatic monologue? Now, what is dramatic monologue? Dramatic monologue is basically the play which is played only by one person. Okay, so all the characters, all the dialogues of all the characters is being played by only one person. It is one man show. Okay, so which are the two poems which are based on this dramatic monologue? The first one is the Alfred Tennyson's Ulysses, and the second one is the Carol and Anne Duffy's Medusa. Okay, so these are the two plays which are based, or which are the examples of dramatic monologue. So where only one person is in the role. So option 4 is our correct answer. Now let's look at the next question. Arrange the following plays in the chronological order of publications. Now these plays are also published, so in which order they are published, that we have to find out. The first one is the Countrymen. Okay, so actually this is B. So first one is the Countrymen. Then comes the All for Love. The third one is the Venus Preserved, and the fourth one is the School of Scandal. Okay, so if we talk about now, I have already discussed about the Country Wife. The Country Wife. So इसके बारे में मेरे को कौन बता सकता है? The Country Wife. So at least just tell me that who wrote this play. It is by William Wycliffe. Sorry, Wycherley. William Wycherley wrote, so in the year 1675, can you imagine 1675? So this play was written in 1675 and it was written, it is a restoration comedy. So likewise, you have to find out different ages in which the play is written, the year, and who wrote this play. Sorry. Now we also have to find the answer. So which is the correct answer? Option number 2 is our correct answer. Okay. Now let's look at the next question. So who among the following linguists proposed the terms competence and performance? These were the linguistic terms proposed by the linguists. Who proposed these terms? Noam Chomsky. He is very famous for his writings. So Noam Chomsky published or he proposed these two terms. First one is competence and the second one is the performance. Okay. Next, who among the following theorists particularly emphasize the social and historical dimensions of a text's perception? So now this question is from the literary theorist. So who among the following theorists particularly emphasize the social and historical dimensions of a text? Text reception. Who? Hans Robert Jauss. Let's look at the next question. As mentioned in my first acquaintance with poets, which poet does William Hazlitt describe as the only person I ever knew who answered the idea of man of genius? Who is the person mentioned by William Hazlitt? He mentioned the Coleridge. Okay, so he mentions Coleridge and he says that he is the only person I ever knew who answered the idea of man of genius. Okay, so in his poem, My First Acquaintance with Poets, and whose poem is this? William Hazlitt's poem is My First Acquaintance with Poets. Now you should know that. Now here you should also understand that just knowing the famous works of the poets is not required. Okay, that is not sufficient. You should also know beyond it. You should know the poems also thoroughly, what is there in the poems, because in this question you can see that something in between the lines is asked. So here you can see that only person I ever knew who answered the idea of the man of genius is something which is there in his poem. Yes, so that is why you should know the poem as well. Then only you will get the answer for this question. Otherwise, you will say that yes, my first acquaintance with poets, I know that this is William Hazlitt's poem. But who was mentioned in this? You don't know about it, right? So then it might become a problem for you. So here you have to understand the poems also correctly. Now let's look at the next question. What is the next question? Which one of the following assumptions best expresses the position of post-structuralist criticism? Now here the question comes from the post-structuralism. Post-structuralism is one more age or literature type. So, which one of the following assumptions best expresses the position of post-structuralist criticism? First is definite structures underlie empirical events. Language is representational. Apprehension of reality is a construct, or knowledge operates according to procedures that are axiomatic. What is the answer? The answer is apprehension of reality is a construct. Now let's look at the next question. So which of the following novels is structured into a poem of 999 lines? Isn't it interesting to find out कि ऐसे कौन सा novel था which was also written in the poem form? और वो poem देखिए कितनी बड़ी होगी, 999 lines है इस poem में, preceded by a foreword followed by a commentary and an index. It also has a commentary, it also has an index, okay, and it also has a foreword. Which is this novel? Pale Fire is the name of the novel. So Pale Fire, so when you read Pale Fire, now you will also remember, or you have to remember, that it is also converted, or it is also into poem form of 999 lines. So find out, students, why it was written only in, not only, but why that one line was missing. Why the writer didn't write one line to complete the poem, or the poem was completed. Why the poem was completed in 999 lines? Why he couldn't think of just one line to make it 1000 lines? Okay, find it out. This is very interesting to know. Okay, now let's look at the next question. So what game do the characters play in Act 2 of Harold Pinter's The Birthday Party? So what game do the characters play? कौन सा game play करते हैं वो? Blind Man's Bluff. So it's Blind Man's Buff. Okay, that was the game which was played in the second act of Harold Pinter's The Birthday Party. Okay, so when you will understand the birthday party, you will also know that which game they were playing in the first act too. So now we will discuss the last question of the day. Which one among the following is a set of the metaphysical poets? Which is the set of the metaphysical poets? Metaphysical poets. We have to find it out here. So do you think John Dryden is a metaphysical poet? No. Means this answer will not be there. Then here also John Dryden's name is there, means this will also not be there. Now option 2 and option 3 are the two options, but here John Donne is, yes, definitely metaphysical poet. Then Samuel Johnson, is Samuel Johnson a metaphysical poet? T.S. Eliot, is T.S. Eliot metaphysical poet? And then Herbert Grierson, is Herbert Grierson a metaphysical poet? But we know that John Donne is there, metaphysical poet. Henry Vaughan is metaphysical poet, and Andrew Marvell is also metaphysical poet. That is why option 3 will be the correct answer, and rest will not be the correct answers. Okay, so when we were talking about metaphysical poets, I already told you who are the most important, most famous poets. Metaphysical poets. Okay, so you have to remember. If you remember now, well and good. If you don't remember, go and watch that video again and try to remember all the metaphysical poets. Okay, because that is very important from your exam perspective. Clear? So that was it for this session. I hope you have understood all the questions, which type of questions are being asked in your exams and what answers to be marked. I know right now you all must be feeling very confused when you are marking the answers, or there might be most of the students might also don't know even a single answer for the question. That's absolutely fine, but at least you have started your preparation. That is what matters. Okay, at least you are giving your efforts to study. Yes, so with this session you will have an idea. So when we will complete the whole course, or when we will complete the whole series, then definitely you will be able to give all the answers for all the questions, because we are doing the revision now. You are also getting to know that which topics are important, from where you have to study. Now here you also have understood that you have to also focus on the post-structuralism. Now what is post-structuralism? Then what is post-colonialism? What is culture studies? These are the topics which you have to study from your part, to know the authors, to know their works, to know when it was published, because you can see that as of now at least 3 to 4 questions are being asked from the publications. So when that book was published, so you should know about the book, you should know the dialogues, famous dialogues of those books. Okay, so these are the things: famous authors, famous poets, famous dramatists, famous playwrights. All these things you have to understand properly, learn properly. Okay, and if you want to practice more questions, you can definitely register on our app, and there you will find few of the questions to solve, and you can give the contest, and you can also be the winner of the contest. Okay, so this is it for this particular session. Until the time we meet next, happy learning.